So, you're trying to learn how to master the SA1216. You've probably seen a high-level player destroy lobbies with this weapon, but when you use it, it feels like a pea shooter. You have also probably seen other SA12 guides showing how to use it like a pro, but that's the problem. These pro-level guides are not always as beginner-friendly, and the SA12 is a high skill ceiling weapon, and trying to jump straight into pro-level usage can sometimes be too hard. So I will give an easy to remember, simple guide so you can gradually improve and start to wipe teams with it. So, my first tip is about its hipfire. As you probably know, the final shotguns have fixed bullet spread, besides the KS-23. So this means no matter if you're crouching, ADSing, airborne, etc., it will always be the same spread pattern. This is why most people only recommend hipfiring, since it gives you the maximum strafe speed and FOV. However, in practice, that's really hard to do, since you need very good tracking to take full advantage of that. So, instead, I recommend hipfiring while also occasionally aiming down sights. This will slow down your sensitivity and you, which will help with your aim, especially when you have a pesky light you just can't pin down. Over time with practice, your aim will improve, and you will need to aim down sights much less, and eventually not much at all. At the same time, you can learn and practice strafing more as you hipfire. Soon enough, you have better tracking while hipfiring and be great at strafing. The next tip is to pace your shots. If you just start spraying, you're probably going to miss, so even though you can just hold down the trigger on the SA12 and continuously shoot, I don't recommend you do it. The SA12 does have some recoil, not a ton, but enough that you need to take it into account when aiming, especially hipfiring. So make sure to line up your shots, aim for center mass on a contestant, then shoot. This will lead to the best results and consistency. The next tip is positioning. The SA12 is a shotgun, so it has very bad range. You will need to be around 5 meters or less to get good damage. This means you need to play smart with the SA12. You can't just run in the open or straight at an enemy from a distance, or else you will be eliminated before you even get close to them. You need to know when to push and how to safely close that distance. To keep it simple, don't rush into a fight you aren't confident in. It's completely fine to slow things down and play more smart and weigh your decisions. If you don't have an advantage in a fight or good intel, you might not want to take it yet, and lots of the time, you can just play defense and let them come to you. Like before, this is a learned skill, and as you take these steps, your game sense will improve, and this will all become second nature. Another tip is to build your loadout around the SA12 and its playstyle. Bonus points if your teammates' loadouts are built around it as well. When looking at specializations, I of course recommend that you use what you're comfortable with. But the two that stand out for me and I think are the strongest when paired with the SA12 are Winch and Mesh Shield. You guys all know how strong Winch can be, not only in a fight but in cash out manipulation. Winch has a max range of 12 meters, so you can pull someone out of the SA12's range and just bring them right in your face and absolutely melt them. I can almost guarantee this has happened to you, and you understand exactly what I mean and why it's so strong. So I'm just going to get straight to explaining Mesh Shield now. The reason Mesh Shield can be good is that it helps you close that distance on players without being eliminated or damaged. It can also let you play more dangerous and bold positions, as you can just deploy it and retreat to cover or your team. A cool little tip with Mesh, if you didn't know, is you can slide jump to get a quick burst of speed while it's active. Both of these specializations are very strong for SA12, and it really comes down to preference in just different situations. Now, as far as gadgets go, there are some good choices, and they're really just the usual. RPG, Dome Shield, C4, Barricade, Healing Emitter. All of these are very strong options. RPG can give destruction and good entry damage. Dome Shield gives all around great utility. C4 for cash out stalling, destruction, and occasionally a makeshift grenade. Barricade lets you bunker down and force enemies to push you. And Healing Emitter can just enhance that bunker playstyle if you wanted. Really, it just comes down to how you want to play the SA12. Personally, I like to use Winch, RPG, C4, and Dome Shield, but I change them depending on the game mode and the map. The last loadout tip is that you should try to get your teammates to play a close range playstyle as well. If your teammates are both light with grapple and snipers, you're going to have a hard time. So try to coordinate with your team if possible and stick close to them. There are a couple of extra tips I wanted to touch on real quick. First is that while you cycle the cylinder on the SA12 between shots, don't just stand around, try to slide jump and just be an overall hard target to hit. Possibly even trying to get closer to the enemy to make it easier for yourself to hit them. The second is you don't need to reload all the time. I know you might really want to, and it's just a habit you've built over time probably, but you have 16 rounds and that's more than enough to wipe a whole team. So sometimes just skip reloading to keep the pressure up, possibly even shooting off a round or two to cycle to a fresh cylinder to be quick. Third is I definitely recommend playing game modes like Point Break to practice the SA12. It lets you not have to worry about objective as much and just fight more casual players. It can also help you explore more possible loadouts. For example, if the map is Nozomi Citadel, you can use Winch, but if it's Starlight Hollow, you might want to try Mesh Shield. Last is that the SA12 is really easy to knock over a cash out by shooting at the top and doing a quick melee right after. Obviously this can help hide a C4 for stall and give opponents less cover when they are stealing the cash out. So, the main takeaway from all this is that as you learn, it's okay to aim with the SA12 sometimes. I recommend taking fights with confidence, as it's okay to go slower and be smarter as you learn. And it's great if you build your loadout and hopefully your teammates' loadouts around the SA12. I must remind you, the SA12 is a very hard weapon to use. It will take practice, but if you are consistent, you will without a doubt see major improvement over time. With all that said, I hope I helped you improve with the SA1216. If I missed anything or you have something to add, let me know in the comments. Good luck, contestant. See you in the finals.